could be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You can talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself
standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
Cause you burn with the first flame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name. Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name. Cause you burn with the first flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion. Be a champion. Be a champion. Be a champion. Walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. Cause you burn with the first flame. Know your name. You'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You can be a hero, you can beat the world. You can talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Yeah, where we need ya. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We always could spot a friend. Welcome back, and I smile when I think how it must have been. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to our August 21st regularly scheduled board meeting. And we're going to say welcome back again. We did all of our welcome backs last week at our work session, but you weren't here. So now we just have an opportunity to do a do-over. So welcome back. We really missed you. I'd like to recognize all of our administrators, or if you're on the leadership team at your school, if you would just wave or stand so that we can welcome you back and tell you thank you. I know we have our library director, Mr. Alan Harkness, museum director, Marianne Rigner, and we're going to hear from our Harvard fellows, some of our outstanding teachers being presented by Meef. Having a brain cramp up here. Marquette McKnight. And we'll just go right ahead into our inspiration, Ms. McCray.
Okay, I'm borrowing this from a social media, an Instagram that I follow by Carrie Campakis. Anyway, it is designed for parents of teenage girls. I'm on my third one, but I think that most, and with a teenage boy too, but I think most of it is very relevant to all of us. So every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can choose to be grateful for what's right in your life or grumpy about all that is wrong. Nobody is born grateful. We learn gratitude by practicing it. This is good news because it means gratitude is in reach. It can be practiced and become a habit. Even if we're skeptical or pessimistic by nature, there is hope. Even if we've been beaten down or long to get to a better place, we can appreciate the blessings in our life now. Thank y'all.
That's great. Thank you so very, very, very much. All right, we will have River Road Elementary School to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance and present our character word. Come on in, boys and girls. Welcome back. We missed you all too. We had to go all summer without seeing your smiling faces.
During the month of August, we would like everyone to strive to have a positive attitude.
An attitude is a feeling or a way of thinking that affects a person's behavior.
A positive attitude is a state of mind of
imagine if effects
good results.
My name is Zaina and I'm in the 5th grade.
My name is Alina and I am in the 4th grade. My name is Emily and I'm in 4th grade.
I am Francis and I'm in the 4th grade. I am Sky and I am in 4th grade.
I'm Connor and I'm 4th grade.
My name is Shyla and I'm in 3rd grade.
Good.
And my name is Mr. Jackson. I'm the principal over here at River Road. I want to thank you for the invitation to conduct the Pledges of Allegiance, as well as do the character word of the month. And also, I want to say thank you to these young men and women for doing an excellent job.
All right, smile for your mom. All right, parents and supporters of these beautiful young people, if you would stand and so we can say thank you and recognize you. Thank you so very much. All right, good job, boys and girls. Thank you. Okay, I need a motion to approve the agenda. Motion by Ms. Chambers, second by Mr. Cantrell. Hand vote. All in favor, raise your hand. Also need a motion to excuse Ms. Vanessa Jackson. Motion by Mr. Cantrell, second by Ms. Buckner. All in favor, raise your hand. That passes. I've already introduced the visitors, Ms. Jones. You know I always take it out of order. And we will have our special presentation by Ms. Marquette McKnight.
Thank you very much. We are delighted on behalf of the Muscogee Educational Excellence Foundation and our chair, Josh Reynolds, who is joining us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the class of 2023 Harvard Fellows that I am delighted to introduce you to tonight. The other teachers had the other 8, the rest of them added up to 18, which is the largest class that we've ever sent to Harvard. But if you'll remember, that was the class of 2020, the class of 2021, 2022 that all went this year. And they have bonded incredibly. I found out this afternoon that they were in a group that I wasn't included on, felt a little left out since I did arrange for the funding for them to go. So this is our 11th year of sending teachers to Harvard for a graduate level course at the Harvard School of Education. I've told you before, it is a life-changing, profession-changing week, and really it's 4.5 days, but it's life-changing in a career for a teacher. We are the largest group that's ever at Project Zero, which is the name of the course. We're the largest group that Harvard has every year, and especially so this year with 18. And so I'm going to ask them if they will stand up when I call their name, the folks who are here, and then you're going to hear from 3 of the Harvard Fellows about what the experience meant to them. Michelle Bizio from Dorothy Height Elementary, Kaneko Bird, formerly of G.W. Carver and now of Northside High, Cicely Coleman from Britt David Magnet Academy, Danielle Cooper from Northside High School now, formerly Aaron Cohn, Catherine Culverson from Arnold Magnet Academy is unable to be here with us tonight, Gina Davis from Diamond Magnet Academy, Lisa Elliott doing double duty, River Road Elementary, Rachel Fonstock from Aaron Cohn Middle, Shalling Gillespie from Blackman Road Middle, Jamie Hagan from Double Churches Elementary, Amanda Hefner, who is not here tonight, from Columbus High, Lara Allen Lassiter, Clubview Elementary, Andrea McCarthy, who is also not with us because the wet bulb temperature was too hot for them to practice outside with her lacrosse team, so she's back at the school with them tonight from Richards. Daniel McCoy, who's unable to be here because she's got a parents' night for one of her teams from Columbus High School. Kelly Roberts from the St. Elmo Center. Chelsea Rogers from Northside High School. Daisha Sheffield, one of our past teachers, MCSD Teachers of the Year from Rothschild Leadership Academy. And Heather White from Aaron Cohn Middle. And we also have 3 other Harvard Fellows that are just in the audience, not here necessarily to support, but you usually see these faces. Christine Hall, Vanessa Williams, and Vanessa Williams. Well, okay, there she is, Miss America. Okay.
I
Vanessa
think the
Ellis.
wave threw you off.
Go ahead, Vanessa. As her child was climbing up her skirt tonight, and I was like, so you felt like Miss America, right? And Stefan Lawrence, who's also here tonight, are past Harvard Fellows, and you've heard from them before, but now I give you Kaneko Bird, Shalling Gillespie, and Jamie Hagan to tell you a little bit about the Harvard experience.
First, I want to say thank you to me for sending us all to Harvard for the Project Zero classroom. I think I can speak on behalf of the other teachers. It was an experience I would not forget. My name is Shalling Gillespie, and I'm a middle grades math teacher at Blackman Road Middle School. I want to ask you guys a question. What does it mean to understand? How do we know when our students understand? How do we make learning more visible in the classroom? These were some of the underlying questions we were asked to think and reflect on during the week at Harvard. We pondered these questions through plenaries, mini courses, and study groups. Ron Richhart, which was one of the main speakers and course leaders, said, to build a classroom culture that encourages student risk-taking, teachers must demonstrate their own willingness to try new things. And I would say that is what Harvard has done for me and the rest of us. Although I've always been reflective on my teaching practices, the Harvard experience forced me to dig even deeper and change some of the ways I shape the learning environment for my students. I picked up Ron Richhart's book, The Cultures of Thinking and Action, The 10 Mindsets to Transform Teaching and Learning, and a math book on how to build thinking classrooms. Both books complement and dive more into what we learned at Harvard. That learning is not just about taking notes while the teacher is teaching and then completing assessment at the end. It is collaborating with one another, listening to others' ideas, being curious about the world around us, and challenging our own beliefs. Learning does not happen in a vacuum, but it is never ending. It continues over and over again. There's always something more to explore and to learn. One of the mindsets that Ron Richhart talked about was that for classrooms to be cultures of thinking for students, schools must be cultures of thinking for teachers. Ron Richhart also said when teachers explore and experiment with new ideas that may not always work, students observe how teachers react and adapt. Thus, students learn the value of failure, understand that learning is a lifelong process, and accept the mistakes are a natural part of the process. I can say there were many times I was out of my element at Harvard, meeting people from different cultures, and I was worried to go in and do the wrong thing when participating in activities in our study groups and mini courses. And you know what that did? It reminded me of what it feels like to be a student, and it deepened my empathy. Sometimes our students are scared and have trepidation about exploring new ideas or showing what they know. If anything, Harvard taught all of us, that it's okay not to know. It is okay to try something different, and it's okay not to have all the answers. Thus, learning is a consequence of thinking. Learning occurs at the point of challenge, and questions drive thinking and learning, which are just a few of the mindsets we embraced at Harvard. The question then I ask myself is, what can I do? What can we do to enculturate the mindset so that students are more engaged, curious, and reflective? So go back to one of the questions I asked at the beginning. What is understanding? What would you say it is? Is it knowing the correct answer? Is it mimicking the steps someone taught you to solve a problem? Is that what understanding is? I would say it's none of these. But more so, it's being willing to uncover more depth and challenging your own assumptions. It is having diversity in thought and realizing that there is always more to peel back. We as Harvard Fellows are embracing these ideas and excited about seeing these mindsets in action in our classrooms and in our schools. Thank you. I'm going to hand it over to Kaniko, who's going to tell you more about our Harvard experience.
Good evening. I am Kaniko Bird. I am tasked with speaking to you all today about my Harvard experience outside the classroom and my study group. I would first like to thank the Muscogee Educational Excellence Foundation, also known as MEEF, for allowing me to be a part of this journey to becoming a better teacher. Outside the classrooms, I made sure to be a team player with the other 17 ladies and exploring the city of Cambridge and Boston. That Sunday before classes started, I went on a trolley tour of Cambridge and Boston. The next day, I went on a ghost tour of Boston. That was different for me because I consider myself scary. I also took a 3-mile bike ride with Shallon, Daisha, and Danielle McCoy that we'll never forget to Fenway Park, where we had issues parking our bikes. Because of this, we were late to the Red Sox versus Marlins game. Once we finally got to the game, it was well worth it. During the game, it rained multiple times. In the area where we sat, we were covered and were one row away from being rained on. We made the most of this moment through singing, dancing, and doing the wave multiple times. I had so much fun, and it was my first professional baseball game. There was so much more that I had done outside of the classroom each day. Now, I'd like to talk to you all about what stood out to me the most from our 5 days as being a student for Harvard's Project Zero Classroom. It was my study group O. That was our thing each day. We were blessed to have a Harvard professor and renowned author, Mark Church, as our study group leader. He was amazing with his strategies, and I learned so much about myself. Each day, he set aside time for us to reflect on our day and topics he had given us. I met some beautiful people from around the world. There were even 2 people from LaGrange in my study group. The 3 ladies that stood out to me the most and I built relationships with are from Lebanon, Australia, and Spain. Although we are from different continents, we all shared common interests and concerns about education. Each day, Mark highlighted how I was gathering and collecting driftwood to use with my students. Study groups were at the end of the first 4 days. I found myself to be exhausted and just wanted to take a nap. Once it was time for the study group to start, Mark made us get up and on our feet and interact. We danced, laughed, made music, created art, interpreted a poem, and learned each person's name through activities. In these moments, I knew exactly how it felt to be a high school student sitting in a 7-period class. But it kept me on my toes, and I look forward to it each day. There was never a dull moment as he mixed things up each day. We did a lot of improv, and it was so much fun. Because it was fun and engaging, I implemented 2 of his strategies on day 1 of the school year with my 4 advanced algebra classes. The first strategy was the silent and talking line continuum. For example, my 6-period class had to create 2 lines silently based off if they're an iPhone or Android user. To my surprise, there was 1 line of 25 students and 1 person in the other line. Can you guess which line had the 1 student? Can anybody guess? Android. With using his strategies, I learned some things about each student. There's so much more I could discuss, but we don't have all night, and I need to give Jamie some time to talk about her experience. Again, thank you, me, for giving me this opportunity of a lifetime. It was definitely worth the 3-year wait, and I'll never forget this impactful experience. I am forever grateful. It has been an honor sharing my experience with you today, and I want to thank you all for your time.
Hello, my name's Jamie Hagan. I teach 3rd grade at Double Churches Elementary. Again, I would just like to thank MEEF as well for this amazing opportunity to send all of us to Harvard back in June. It was incredible. When Marquette said that it was a life-changing experience, when she said that, I got chills all over my body just thinking about how that could not be more true in any way. It's just I just felt like a different person when I came back from that experience and what I wanted to incorporate into my classroom and share with my colleagues. It was incredible. They just said it so wonderfully. Just meeting people from all over the world with different cultures and really getting into those conversations with them, speaking about issues that they have within their school systems and the districts and how it just all seems to be fluid, and also things that go so well and how we connected so much on such a professional level and also on a personal level. I know that all of us probably keep in touch with some people that were in our study groups, and just the kind of conversations that we had there that I know we will hold near and dear for the rest of our life. It's incredible. And I know every day we would get up and go to our breakfast and our early morning preliminaries, where we all got to kind of learn different things that kind of revolved around the cultures of thinking, the 10 cultures of thinking that they continue to talk about. One that stood out to me the most was just about how play in the classroom is so important for children as they're learning. They showed us this video of a classroom in Rwanda where they had to build a chicken coop. And the chicken coop had to stay dry, and it had to keep out wild animals, and they had to do all these things. And so we got to watch this classroom build these chicken coops, and hardly any of them really worked because they were like all out of cardboard, and of course, wild coyotes could get in. But the whole purpose was for the kids to come back to what they built and reflect on it and come up with a better plan. And then they built a better chicken coop. And then they came back to that chicken coop and reflected on that, and then made a better chicken coop. So to me, what I took back from a lot of that is how reflection is so important to give our students. And as a teacher, reflecting is so important for us to sit there and reflect on the type of teacher we want to be for ourselves and for our students and for our community. A mini course that really stuck out to me was one from Mark Church that was her study group leader. And it was about how to make thinking visible for students. And he treated his whole mini course like a simulation. So it was really like we were in the classroom, we were the students. And he kind of took us step by step through what we could do to make our thinking visible for our kids. And he gave us so many resources to bring back to share with our colleagues, which I'm really excited to do. And then with my study group, the head of my study group, she was like a director at a museum in Washington, D.C. So every time that we would come, she would always have a piece of artwork sitting at her desk. And she would always give us a topic to reflect on. And the artwork had to do with what she wanted us to reflect on. And so again, one of the main things that I took back from Harvard is just how self-reflection and giving our students that time to reflect on their learning and come back to it and just making their thinking visible for them and just how important that is. I will never, ever forget this experience. It was one of the best of my life. And I just thank Meef so much for giving us this opportunity. It was incredible.
Madam Chair, just one of the things that I just want to start by thanking these teachers for taking time out of your summer. I'm so glad you were so well enriched by going to the experience at Harvard. And my only ask of you is, much like Meef does, is to go back and be a force multiplier in your schools. Share what you've learned with others so that they too can experience through you some of the great aspects of the Harvard experience. And to Meef, just once again, I think it's important for us to realize that what Meef brings to our school system is the ability to really focus in on exceptional teaching. There are a lot of different educational foundations out there, but to my knowledge, Meef is the only one that really strictly focuses on educational teaching excellence. And many of them do other different things, but your focus has been and continues to be on ensuring excellence in the teaching profession. So I just want to say thank you for making this available to all the donors, to all the people who make this possible. I just want to thank you, and to Marquette and all the board of directors for me, thank you for continuing to support our teachers in becoming excellent teachers, and with what you will now share with others, you can make that be, just like I said, a force multiplier for other teachers. So thank you all very much. It's a privilege.
All right, thank you again. Dr. Lewis, well said. So thank you to Meef and to our educators for availing yourself to expand your knowledge and professional development. Next, we will move to our district-wide recognitions. Ms. Wright. Picture.
Good evening. We want to congratulate Ms. Demaya Neal, a Northside High School junior who competed at the National FCCLA Star Events held in Denver, Colorado on July 1st through the 7th. Her event in National Programs in Action, where she was selected to work with teens in driver's seat. This project focused on enlightening young drivers about the dangers of texting while driving, driving while under the influence of drugs or alcohol, driving while drowsy, not respecting distance between 18-wheelers, and distracted driving. She competed against other freshmen and sophomores throughout the nation where she earned the silver medal. Congratulations, Demaya.
Thank you. Good afternoon, guys. I'm Demaya Neal, and I'm from Northside High School, and I'm a junior. I competed in National Program in Action, where I basically prompted my classmates to just drive safe on the road and make sure that they're watching out for others and make sure that everybody is safe. I also put up a lot of billboards around the school to encourage driving, because we do have a lot of reckless drivers at our school, but just getting the message out meant a lot to me. And now I'm going to introduce my advisor.
Hey everyone, my name is Carla Buckholtz, and I am a 15-year teacher now at Northside High School teaching Family and Consumer Sciences, and I teach the Nutrition and Food Science pathway. And I'm very proud of Demaya. I'm also her FCCLA advisor, so she had to be top 2 in the region to make it to the state level, and then at state level, she was top 2 at the state level to make it to the national level, and here we are with a silver medal. So amazing job.
Outstanding, congratulations. I'll ask, any parents or supporters, high school that students usually don't bring them.
That concludes our board recognitions. I yield to Ms. Latoya Akins-Jackson to present the Power We Award.
Dr. Wiggins, would you join me? Good evening. So this is the first time we are actually doing the Power of We Award in the month of August. We are attempting to expand our reach and make sure that everybody is recognized in our amazing district. What's so amazing about this month is that we are recognizing a custodian from Spencer High School. His name is Toby Ross. Not only is he a custodian, but he's an amazing man of character. So I'm going to ask Mr. Ross if he'd come up to front and let me read a little bit about him. He was nominated for the Power of We Award by his principal, Mrs. Patterson, and his athletic director, Coach Kegler. So a little bit about Mr. Ross. When Spencer High School alumni, fans, and spectators reflect on our athletic events, they remember the highlights of great athletes and passionate coaches. They relive the energy on the football field before kickoff and the roar in the gym at overtime. But few people think about who was responsible for making the fields, gym, and school presentable for another game night or event. Mr. Ross is one of the most dependable and hardworking custodial employees in the Muscogee County School District. He is the backbone of support for the athletic department and teaching staff at Spencer High School. Mr. Ross ensures all areas in the gym are safe, clean, and ready for participation every day for every class and every athletic event the school offers. He is willing to go above and beyond to help others as needed. There have been times when Mr. Ross was called on to assist other custodians. This summer, he actually went to other schools to help schools get prepared to open their doors. So thank you for that. Again, Mr. Ross stops working in his own area and assists others without murmuring, complaining, or sarcasm. He offers encouragement to the team and guidance on how to get all the furniture and equipment relocated by the deadline. He is not intimidated to take charge as needed. Mr. Ross will never limit his assistance to his duty station because to him, all areas of Spencer High School are his duty station. Whether it is working late nights during the weeks or coming in during the weekend after a game, Mr. Ross is always friendly and displays his trademark smile. Mr. Ross is the epitome of a professional in attitude, dress, quality of work, and work relations. He faithfully comes to work daily with his genuine trademark smile. That's why he was nominated for the August 2023 Power of We Award. I present to you Mr. Ross.
Congratulations, sir.
How you doing? I just want to thank the school district for thinking of me and Spencer High School for their great support. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, we can see your supporters. Any family members here? Thank you so very much. Congratulations again. Does that conclude our district? Okay, thank you so very much. That concludes our district-wide recognitions. And next, we will go into our public agenda. We do have 3 speakers signed up, and I will call you in the order that as your name appears. Ms. Wendy Young, Ms. Stephanie Willis, and Reverend Richard Jesse. And Ms. Young, are you here? All right, you come make your way. And while you're on your way, I'll read, I was gonna read it. All right, we're back. All official meetings of the board shall be open to the press and the public. And however, the board may meet in executive session. Speakers' remarks should be directed to the board and shall be limited to 5 minutes. Citizens are encouraged to address items on the board agenda or to initiate presentations of issues appropriate for school board consideration. If an individual desires to speak, they may contact the superintendent's office to be placed on the agenda. For the board meeting or work session, it is not the appropriate place to address either criticisms of particular employees or individual complaints when such complaints have not been first addressed to the attention of the appropriate administrator or resolved. You are encouraged to follow the normal channels to address individual parent complaints or problems. Sorry about that. If I touch it, it'll disappear. Thank you, Ms. Young. Thank you you can go right ahead, and the clock's going to start when you start speaking.
Hi, my name is Wendy Young, and both of my children attend Shaw High School. I'm going to highlight just a few of the many rules at Shaw this year. Last year, students were told that they must purchase a drawstring bag with a Shaw logo. This year, the students are being told that they must purchase a clear book bag and a clear purse. No one is allowed to carry a regular purse. These clear bags must be put in a locker upon arriving at the school, and the parents need to purchase the lockers, which have increased from $10 to $15 this year. The school has not given a reason why the lockers went up. Shaw High School has free lunch and breakfast, so I'm not sure how they're justifying for the parents to pay for this. We have been told our children were, if the children were proficient learners on the GMAs, that they would receive lockers and free parking passes. I'm just wondering about the students who have 504s and IEPs. These perks discriminate against the students struggling academically. Another rule is the restroom breaks. There are now these e-passes. Students were told that they are not permitted to use the restroom once their e-passes are used up. We're not really told what's going to happen with the e-passes. We've just heard that you get 3 times in a semester, and that's it. Okay, so cell phones. While I do agree students should not be on their phones during instructional time, they should be allowed to have their phone during lunch or in the halls. Shaw has a no cell phone policy, yet other high schools in the district don't have such a strict phone policy. One district should have one set of rules. My teens have been told if a phone is found in their possession, it will be confiscated. I have instructed my teens to keep their phones on them at all times. If other schools allow phones, my kids should have theirs. I'm here today because we have elected you. I'm sorry, let me start over. I'm here today because you have been elected by the parents to represent our children and set policy in this one district. We have been told the rules are different at Shaw because of culture, customs, and different social and emotional needs. The environment at Shaw is not very positive. It's run like an alternative school, A large portion of our tax dollars goes to the district, and my children should not have to have a completely different set of rules or completely set of drastic rules that contrast with other high schools in the district. Being told cultural, emotional, and social needs that are different, being told that this is what Shaw has versus other schools is bizarre and unacceptable. And that's all I have to say. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Young. We appreciate you coming to speak before us. Next is Ms. Stephanie Willis here. Come to the podium. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, board members. Thank you for your time. I regret that I have to go to this measure to get help for my son, who's a senior at Kendrick High School. But I'm just going to pick up where I left off from the last board meeting, where I was told that I was going to get assistance from the last time I came up here. I went through the measurements with Chief Art to talk with him about how can we resolve the problem with my son at Kendrick High School. So we met and I explained everything all over again with Chief Art about what happened with my son at Kendrick in the locker room where he got jumped by a gang member of boys, and I did not feel it was safe for him to go back to school. So he told me he was going to contact Dr. Ward about seeing if my son can go to a different school because it was unsafe for him to go back to there. And all I got was she said, well, he actually went to go talk to Mr. Kevin Scott, and Mr. Kevin Scott agreed again that he was not going to change my son to another school. All I come for is answers to what happened to my son and trying to get him to graduate like the other two that I got there in the Navy now. So my only mission is to make sure my son graduates and to do whatever he wants to do with his future. But I felt like his life was in jeopardy at Kendrick for a good reason. If you get jumped by 7 boys, it's a mental, state that can really hurt you. So when I found out that there was nothing else to be done, Dr. Williams gave me a phone call and told me that he would allow my son to finish his schoolwork at home, and if he does everything that he needs to do, that he would make it to 12th grade next year. So my son did everything he was supposed to do. He went to summer school, completed that, did the GMAS, did all of that. I was also told that as long as I don't have any instance with anything or anybody at the school board, that they would release a banishment that was on me due to a verbal confrontation that me and Mr. Scott had. So after the school was over with, I was reaching out to them to see, can I get the banishment off? And also, I was told that at the end of the school year that me and Dr. Ward would come together to figure out which school that he would be suitable to go to next year. None of that happened. I met with Dr. Ward and the principal at Kendrick. Froze mine right now, but the principal at Kendrick, we met there, and she told me to come in with an open mind. I came in with an open mind. The only discussion that went down with that was it was supposed to be in the safety plan, the second safety plan that never came about, but this one came about. So in my mind, how can you keep one child away from 7 or 8 different boys at the same school, knowing that he has to go to the bathroom, locker room, cafeteria, everything else? So, they asked my son, did he feel safe going back to school? Because it was either they asked him, did he want to go to homeschooling or did he want to do in person? So he actually said that he was okay with doing in person because he's not afraid in the sense that I am to when I let my child out the door, what's going to happen to him, when he goes to that school. So he actually agreed to go to that school. They asked for me to sign the agreement saying that he can go to that school. I wouldn't because they didn't, in that safety plan, they didn't even have the boys' names who jumped on him in the safety plan. So you can't assure me that he's going to be safe around these kids and you don't even have them on the paperwork on the safety plan. So I didn't agree to sign it. So he went to school. First week he was sick with COVID. Second week he came back to try to go to school. he couldn't make it. He couldn't go into the classroom. He stayed in the bathroom. They put gym back on his schedule, even though he passed it last year. And that was his breaking point. He went to the office to call me to come and get him because he couldn't even make it to the third period without having an anxiety attack. Took him to the doctor the next day. They said he had post-traumatic stress disorder, which was expected because when you get jumped on by a group of boys, when it's only you, that causes a lot of mental anguish. So I asked Dr. Ward and Chief Art, would I be able to remove the restraining banishment from me? And she said no, because no reason why. She just said, well, we'll just send a representative to your school to handle it that way. But as long as I ain't had no confirmation, I was supposed to be able to get it released, but it wasn't. But Monday morning, I was told that it was released now, which is, I'm thankful for that because I have an 8th grader that I still have to attend to. And so with that being said, they would not allow him to go to another school. So when I took him to the doctor recommended that he go to homebound until I can get him evaluated by a psychiatrist so that because he don't want to be on medication. He just wants to go to school, finish out his 12th grade year. But he tried to do it at Kendrick, and it wasn't allowable for him in his mind because he had an anxiety attack. His chest was beating real fast, and I don't understand why he should have to go through those measurements because I have a very good child. He's not perfect, but he's my child, though. But, I just felt like he should be in an environment where he can learn and do, activities like sports. He's a very sportful guy that he can't do at that school because he couldn't even make it on the first day in the school. And I'm just trying to figure out why was my son denied the right to be able to go to another school when I followed all the protocols to try to get help, and all I got was no. And no reason why the no was there, just no.
And we certainly can't answer you tonight because, we're the board, but Dr. Wiggins is here and Dr. Lewis is here, and they will address your specific concern with you directly, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So just expect the follow-up.
Thank y'all very much.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Wiggins.
No. I just want to ask, since it was brought before the board, that we get an update on what's going on with really both issues that were brought tonight. If y'all could give us an update on how it's being handled.
Sure. All right. Reverend Jesse? Good evening.
Dr. Lewis, board members, glad to be here this evening. I used to think that everybody knew me, but let me just say, my name is Richard Jesse. I'm a community activist, minister, entrepreneur, and organizer. And I'm here today to speak on behalf of a retired school teacher that we want you to maybe reconsider the naming of the Dawson Elementary School for. Reverend Ali Tarver has been a very important part of the changing fabric of Columbus, Georgia. She was very important in the desegregation of our system. She has been a retired activist, educator, that most people know. She's a lady that's always praying for this system. She has been one that was at one of the first, I think, black teachers at Dawson Elementary School. I'm connected with Dawson Elementary School because my oldest daughter went there. And because of my oldest daughter going there, I became a Girl Scout. We organized a Girl Scout troop at Dawson Elementary School. This issue of, last month I was on my way out of town, and I heard that the school was going to be named after Judge Mary Bugner. And I said, very good. And went on vacation, my 6th wedding anniversary, came back home and found out that there were a lot of emotions behind this naming of the school. And Dr. Lewis, I know that you have always been one that wanted to be not disingenuous. But there are some people in the community now that are feeling they have been dealt with disingenuously. And I'm here to be a peacemaker because after this pandemic, we got a lot of work to do in our neighborhood. And we don't want to be distracted by this situation of naming this school. And I know that there have been a number of names offered, and it was not me that sent in Claflin's name, because Claflin is still a school. It will be. But I want to see what we can do to revisit this issue. There are some names that have come up that the community feel, and I don't have a problem with Mary B's name being on there. It's a friend of mine, a family member. But there are some people that have been brought up that we believe that there should be maybe a reconsideration. We believe that teachers are not getting their due honors. I mean, we could do a whole lot more for teachers, and I'm grateful for having been working with teachers over the last 30 or 40 years in different capacities. And we think that the naming of this school, even we've added a name to it, add a name to Mary B's, Reverend Tarver, B. Tarver, whatever. But I wanted to see this reconsidered to a point that will bring some healing in the neighborhood. And I don't know how you would do that, but I would like to get an answer to this at some point. I know you're not going to discuss it this evening, but want to know how can we get an answer to whether or not, or how we might be able to reconsider the naming of Dawson Elementary.
Were you going to take your last 50 seconds, or?
Well, the last 50 seconds, I want to say that for the last 3.5 years, we have been shut down as far as community work. But on September the 25th, we will be picking up where we left off with the Friends of Historic Claflin, with the Columbus Urban Debate League. We will be starting where we left off 3 years ago because of the pandemic. Is that my time?
Yes. Well,
okay.
No, you have 20 seconds.
I would like to hear from somebody, though, about
Yes, sir.
this issue.
Yes,
all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Jesse, for coming to speak with us. And I do want to say that I think it was our June, Ms. Jones, or was it our June meeting where we approved the name? Our July meeting where we approved the name of the school. We are entering into our contracts, ordering signage for Mary Buckner Academy, because the school will open August 2024. And the board can reconsider any item that it wants. If one of the prevailing votes, right, Mr. Ellington, wants to bring an item back, and I'll let you speak to that.
So the rules are set up so that at the next time that the board convenes after making a decision, if somebody who voted in favor of an item wishes to bring it back up for reconsideration, then that motion can be made. So it would be important to make sure you knew when this was voted on previously, whether it was June or July. But then it would take somebody who voted in the majority to bring it back.
Okay, I just wanted to offer the process as an explanation. And in other words, the time would have been now for us to reconsider something. And Ms. Jones?
Madam Chair, it was June 26th.
June 26th. Okay, it was recommended, voted on, and passed June 26th for Mary Buckner Academy as the name for the new combined schools, where we're combining Dawson Elementary School and St. Mary's Magnet. All right. So we will move on now into our action agenda.
This is related back to the public agenda. I mean, Ms. Chambers has already said it, but I would like kind of some detail about what is going on at Shaw High School and how that is at different schools. I was interested in knowing when we did start charging for lockers. I'm looking at the region chiefs, but
Many years.
well, I don't know. I've got a new high schooler, and I was kind of surprised by the practice myself. I thought he was had misunderstood. But I'd like to know how much that was. I guess my other children paid for it without asking me, and the son
They
came
must
and-
have, Ms. McCray. I don't know how you escaped that.
But I would like to know more about how much that is and kind of what these policies are across the district. Again, if we're doing something different at a high school than others.
All right. Ms. Buckner.
And if we have a system-wide, we used to have a system-wide cell phone policy.
We still do.
Do we still have, okay. All right. We want to know what that is.
Pat, what Ms. Young said a while ago about, the purses being clear, you've got ladies who've got personal things with a clear purse. Is that a problem right there? I mean, embarrassing, it's not. I mean, that's.
You asking me as a lady? Are you
Yes,
asking me because
so-
I'm female?
Yes, ma'am. When you got a clear purse, I'm not a lady, so I'm just trying to think of something that stops some embarrassment. I mean, really, that's.
Well, we know how to conduct ourselves as young ladies, Mr. Cantrell, with our personal items and belongings. We know how to stow those away. But if your question is.
In a clear bag?
In a clear bag,
Okay.
yes, sir. We know how to do that. We do it all the time at the games and other events.
Okay.
Because places all over the country is requiring
Okay,
clear
that's what I was
bags,
just asking.
including right here in Columbus at our Civic Center, because they're focused on a safety issue. And
That's
when
right.
you're trying to have mass entrances, it provides an opportunity for efficiency as well as safety. And so, but as we know what to do.
Okay. Well, I didn't know, it's, you ain't ever carried clear bags, purses, into school. That'd been something different, and, I'm looking out after the children. I just don't want no
Yes, sir.
embarrassment.
Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't even know how to begin this conversation, but I will say that I do know that Shaw is the recipient of our hygiene grant, and they have dispensers in all of their female restrooms where those are readily available anytime during the school day. And as most of you know, our hygiene project that we started in Muscogee County is now the model for the state, and then now the state legislature actually provides funding for all school districts to help with these hygiene products for our schools. But in this particular case in Shaw, they do have dispensers in every one of their female restrooms, I believe, so they're well stocked on that.
And other locations in the school. Again, Mr. Cantrell, we know what to do.
Remember, I'm the only guy on the county board. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Don't worry, we got it. We got it. Ms. Chambers?
They're also available at the front office, so there's other opportunities as well. I did want to, Ms. Dawkins, I'm not trying to give you extra work to do, but I know that I just want to make a suggestion for communities and schools. I know that sometimes you're able to get donations from the public, and perhaps maybe if there's a cost incurred for the clear book bags or the clear purses, maybe we can ask for some donations and get a group of those for the students at Shaw High School, maybe.
And I do know Shaw has excellent partners in ed, right? Got excellent partners in ed. They're all right there. Well, thank you, partners. All right, anything else, guys? Yeah. All right, team, all right. Let's begin. Item 6.01. Motion by Ms. Chambers, second by Ms. Buckner to approve the appointment of Blair Tucker to serve as assistant principal at Shaw High School. Got it? Ms. Chambers, Ms. Buckner? Are there any questions? We are ready to vote now. You have something, Ms. Chambers? Okay. All right, that passes. Congratulations, Ms. Tucker.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as I stand here, my heart simply overflows with gratitude, pride, and humility. The honor of being appointed as the assistant principal for Shaw High School is not just a personal achievement, but it's a true testament to the support and the love that has surrounded me my entire life. And I am incredibly grateful for everyone who has played a part in that journey. Today, I'd like to thank the good Lord, and I would like to thank my family. To my husband, my children, Willis, Caroline, and John, to my sister, Taylor, to my mother, and to my father, you have been an unwavering foundation and source of strength. Your belief in me, your sacrifices, and your encouragement have impacted the person that I am today. And I am forever beholden to your love. To Craig and Tammy Fitz, thank you for your love, your friendship, and your unlimited advice. All of you have shaped who I am today, and I carry your teachings and love with me into the next chapter of my career. I'd also like to express my gratitude to Dr. Lewis, to the Region Chiefs, Mr. Bell, Mr. Baker, and Dr. Wiggins, to the board, and to the cabinet. I thank you for entrusting me with the responsibility to lead and to educate the future of our nation. I also would like to take the time to recognize the incredible team of teachers and staff that I've had the honor of working with at Veterans Memorial Middle School. When I started as a student teacher at VMMS just 15 short years ago, under Vicki Hamrick, I was immediately accepted into the VMMS family by Mrs. Melanie Knight, by Mrs. Julie Raines, and a wonderful group of teachers and staff. As the years have passed, the teachers have changed, the staff has changed, and the administration has changed. But they've come and gone from VMMS. But so many of these people over the last 15 years have not only helped me become the leader that I am today, but they have also become a part of my family. I have truly been blessed to work with the best educators that have helped shape not just me, but also my children, and to the people that we are today. Many of the passionate educators that I've had the great pleasure of working with are here supporting me tonight. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you, guys. I'd also like to thank Dr. Hendrick and the Shaw family for welcoming me with open arms. As I look to the future, I'm honored to have the opportunity to learn and to grow alongside her and the rest of the administrative team. Thank you for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to support your vision and mission for Shaw High School. I'm honored to be a Shaw Raider. Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, family, you have to stand up and wave. All right, congratulations to you. And Ms. Tucker, you got this call they have over there about Shaw U that you have to learn and get acquainted with. I love to hear it. So congratulations to you again. Next item is 6.02. Motion by, is that you, Pat? Ms. Frey, and second by Ms. Buckner. That item is to appoint the audit committee member. The 2023 audit committee members would consist of Ms. Laura McCray as the chair, Ms. Nikki Tillery, board member, District 2, Ms. Kia Chambers, board member at large, and the board chair always serves as ex officio officer. Are there any questions? Ms. McCray?
Going to add that Ms. Tillery pretty much volunteered, which was kind of surprising, to take the place opened up when Kathy Williams departed. So we're mainly approving her.
Yes.
And we appreciate her willingness to do this.
And then, of course, with the charter, we have two external members, Mr. Andy Cottle, Director of Audit for Synovus Financial Corporation, and Dr. Fonda Carter, Accounting Professor at Columbus State University. Are there any questions? We are ready to vote now. All right, that passes. Next item is 6.03 is the contract to award the freezer cooler Forest Road Elementary School. Motion by Ms. Chambers, second by Mr. Cantrell. Are there any questions? We are ready to vote now. All right, that item passes. And the last item under the action agenda is the contract to award upgrades at Kendrick and Hardaway. All right, motion by Ms. Buckner, second by Ms. Schley. Are there any questions? We are ready to vote now. All right, that passes. On the consent agenda, are there any items for any further discussion? The one item that we talked about on the works, would that begin, when is the start for that program? Immediately? Okay. Are there any other questions?
How many schools would this bring for kids being just one or all of them?
Oh, no, being several, and I don't have the
Okay,
total
that's
number, but,
The question was about the number of schools that this program would serve.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Lewis is going to bring it back or send it out, but the item is ready to vote on. We'll just provide some additional details. Motion by Ms. Buckner to approve the consent agenda, second by Ms. Frey. We are ready to vote now. And while we're waiting on, I did something and made it go away. We want to say thank you to our supporters and donors for supporting our schools and supporting public education. All right. What was that? Okay, that item passes. Did you have a question? We did.
full consent.
And it drops, okay. So that passes, and we will hear from Dr.
I think we're also going to ask Mr. Anderson just for a little update on transportation, and then I have an announcement.
Thank you. We are excited that we've completed the first 2 weeks of school, and that process means that we have gathered all the data needed to do the dead stop process we talked about last week. So now we will start to take those students out of the system who are not consistently riding the bus and no longer desire transportation. That means we will start rerouting those buses. So those buses that had bus passes that were much earlier or longer, they will start to get shorter as we route them. So students and families will start to receive new bus passes as a reflection of the removal of students who are not riding the bus. We're also continuing to get information from our magnet schools to decrease those routes for students who are not riding the bus. We are seeing significant improvements, as all people who drive around our schools are seeing, as schools are getting used to being back in schools and car rider lines are shorter. Those things help us with bus as well, because that means the buses are not stuck in those car rider traffic lines. So we're seeing significant improvements. Today, we're happy to report that we were able to get students to school on time, with the exception of a few buses, 3 at the elementary level, 2 at the middle school level, and 4 at the high school level. So we are making steps in improving each and every day, and we're really excited about that. We continue to have challenges with our SPED, our ESOL, and our magnet routes, which we are working on, and as we continue to hire drivers and continue to remove students from the routes who are not riding the bus, we'll continue to see improvements. Thank you.
Do you know how many bus drivers we are short? Personnel, maybe?
Second, I'll give you the exact number. It's
okay.
It's a good number, though.
Yeah, okay.
Is there another question while I pull that number up? Tanya, you pulling that? HR's going to give us that.
As long as we're not in the 40s like we were.
I'm sorry?
As long as we're not in the 40s like we were.
Oh, well. I think we are. Mm-hmm.
And then if you have an update on how many, if we have any in school, working on their CDL license?
There are 5 in training.
5 in training,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
That number I know, because
Okay. Okay,
we're eager for them to get on the road.
sounds good.
When they're in training, are they being paid to be trained?
Yes.
Absolutely. So they're being paid to be trained, and they're being paid almost at their full rate. So lots of districts do not pay them to be trained, and those who do pay them at a significantly reduced rate. But just recently, the board approved to increase their training rate, and we're really excited about that, so it makes it more competitive.
And that number is 46.5.
46.5.
And that's at rehired 68.
Yes. Thank you.
I know that it's a nationwide problem, and it's not just a problem here in Muscogee County. I think I was watching on the national news where in some states, kids were getting home at 9 and 10 o'clock at night. So while we don't have all the bugs worked out, I know that it's getting better each day. So I know we're getting less calls. So that's a good thing. So thank you for all you do. I appreciate it.
It's really the bus drivers and the school staff who are working really hard to improve the process. We thank them.
Just a couple things. As you all know, I don't have to tell anybody here, but we are suffering from very high temperatures and humidity that's causing us to have heat advisories. I just want to let all the parents know that we are monitoring that carefully for recess during the day and for athletic events. Our game officials are all trained on monitoring that as well. I want to thank Mr. Battles, Mr. Cater with our bands. Everyone's trying to take all the precautions we possibly can. But again, just want to remind everyone to make sure you continue to be hydrated. We're trying to make sure our crossing guards we're taking bottles of water to them, as well as our plant service. So we're just trying to make sure that everybody stays hydrated and takes good care of themselves and others. So just be aware of that, and just know that for the next week, it's going to be pretty insufferable out there in many cases. Also, like other venues in our community, like the Civic Center, we are enacting, effective immediately, a bag policy for all of our athletic events. And you'll be getting more notification on that, but bag size restrictions are going to be large bags will no longer be permitted inside the stadiums during varsity football games. Exceptions will be for to accommodate essential needs. Exceptions will be made for medical bags, diaper bags, and small single compartment clutches, no larger than 5 by 9. These bags will be subject to inspection upon entry. And we wanted to just remind everybody that all bags, regardless of size, will be subject to thorough security inspections to ensure the safety of all attendees. The enhanced security measures align with our commitment to providing a secure environment for all guests. So I just want to make sure we all are aware of that. And we'll be notifying all of our media outlets and our parents. Just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. Again, like the venues, such as the Civic Center, we're going to adhere to the same kind of restrictions for the safety of everybody concerned. So just want to make sure we're aware of that. Just want to announce that here at the table. And like I said, we will be notifying all others, and that will become effective immediately. Other than that, I just want to thank everyone for your continued cooperation and support as we go through these first few weeks of school. As I have shared last week, been out to some more schools over the last few days, and kids are happy to be back. Talking with principals and teachers at our schools, they feel like there's a unique and different energy they have this year than we've had an experience over the last 2 or 3 years. They really feel good about the start of the school year, and I'm really encouraged by what I think is going to be a great year. So thank you all for your support and for continuing to make sure that we have all the resources we need to make sure we can continue our efforts toward becoming that premier school district we all want. Thank you.
I have just one question, and I just thought about it since you were talking about things that were happening at the games. A retiree asked me about, and of course I don't know the answer. They asked, they used to get a pass for a +1, and they said that has been discontinued now. Is that the case?
I think the only passes we acknowledge are the lifetime passes for coaches, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Mr. Battles?
Prior to this year, they got a +1 on theirs. They got a pass for themselves and then a +1. And they were just asking me about it. I didn't know. I told them I didn't know anything about it. Huh?
You're asking about the MCSD retiree badges?
Yeah, they said, somebody was asking me just today, and I just thought about it when you start talking about the games, and they said,
that was changed before I actually took this job over. So it was probably about 8 or 9 years ago. They went to just the badge holder. Anybody who had a badge before that, the older badges, they were grandfathered in. But anybody with a new badge is the badge holder only.
okay, so they were grandfathered in.
But before that rule change.
Before a certain time.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Apparently.
And I think that was 8 or 9 years ago.
8 or 9 years ago?
It was definitely before my time.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
I just need to know how to respond to
Yes,
it now.
ma'am.
I'm just.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, board members, we have one last thing. We have an executive session. I need a motion to go into executive session for a personnel matter, a property matter, and a legal matter, as well as a security matter.
Wow.
Motion by Mr. Cantrell, second by Ms. Buckner. We're going into executive session. Yes, I said property. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all, have a good evening.
Thank you.